And then let's all start by lying on our backs. So your blanket you don't need immediately. Your blocks you'll probably want towards the upper corners of your mat, but they don't need to be on your mat, and you'll just lay down for a moment. And when you find yourself on your back, I want you to allow yourself to spread out as much as you can. So maybe your arms are about at least a foot away from the body. Notice what you need to do to have the shoulder blades on the floor. Notice what it feels like to have the back of the head on the floor, the back of the pelvis, the legs, the calves, the heels. And you'll just take 3 or 4 breath cycles here. Good morning, Laura. Is that Izzy with you? Is he with you? I can't hear you, Laura.
Izzy's with me.
Good morning. Hi, Izzy. How are your bodies today?
Good.
Okay, awesome. Laura, do you have a blanket and/or a towel for each of you?
I'll go get one.
Okay, cool. And then we're just going to take the first few breaths here. We're going to work today a lot on opening up our hips and doing some leg type of things before we enter some standing poses. But we're going to start very effortlessly to begin. So I want you to just take 3 audible exhales out of the mouth. And then inhale, fill the belly, fill the ribs, fill the chest, and another audible exhale out. And last one, fill the belly, fill the ribs, fill the chest, and then audible exhale out. And as you begin to settle into the breath now, go ahead and close the lips, lightly tone the back of the throat, and invite in your gentle Ujjayi pranayama. And for today, as we do a bunch of things to open up the legs and the hips, our focus first and foremost is always on the breath. It's with our attention on the breath that we can direct our awareness towards the things that are helpful and away from the things that are not. And so we'll just use that as a gentle reminder every step of the way. And throughout, I'll probably chit chat about other random things per usual. At the end of your next exhalation, go ahead and bend both of your knees and plant the feet firmly on the floor. Make sure both feet are hip distance apart. Go ahead and draw your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long beneath you on the floor and flex through that left foot. Press down into the left heel, the left calf, the back of the left hip. And then go ahead and bring your hands behind the back of your right thigh. From here, inhale, reach your foot up towards the sky. And exhale, bend the knee, hug the knee into the chest. And you'll do 4 more like that, just finding our breath. Inhaling, kicking the leg into the hands. Exhaling, pulling the leg into the chest. And you're just doing a little bit of nerve flossing, breathing as you bend and straighten that leg. After you've done a total of 4, you'll inhale and reach the foot back up towards the sky. And then take a few flexes and points of the ankle or ankle circles, whichever feels best to you, but continue to breathe deeply. Continue to just notice what's happening in the body and in the breath. And if you've circled the ankle one way, go ahead and go the other direction. And then check in with your breath. Can you still hear it? Can you still sense it? Nice job. Go ahead and come to stillness with that right ankle. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Start to open your right knee slightly towards the right armpit. You might open the left arm to the left to counterbalance, or bring the left arm to the top of the left thigh to counterweight that left hip down, whatever works for you. And you'll just take 3 to 4 breaths here, pulling the right knee up, rooting down through the left half of the pelvis, the left hip. Nice work. On your next inhalation, gently come back through center. Bend the right knee until it's perpendicular to your torso, so parallel to the floor. Bring both hands to the top of your right thigh. Push your hands into your right thigh. Kick your thigh into your hands. Press down into your right leg. And we're going to stay here for 10. Kick the thigh into the hands. Push the hands into the thigh for 8. Sneaky core work for 6. Flex through that right foot for 4. For 3. Yep. For 2. Nice job. And 1. Gently release just the right foot to the floor, bending the knee. Now, I want you to lift your left leg up so your left knee is in line with your right knee. Open your arms out to the side so your left leg is straight. You're flexing through that foot. And then you're going to inhale. As you exhale, push down through your right foot, lift your pelvis so your knees are still in alignment with each other, but you're in a one-legged bridge. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. And you do 4 of those. So exhale to press up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to press the butt up. Inhale to lower down. Yep. And keep going until you've done 5. And you want to make sure that when you lift the butt up, both hips lift equally and evenly. There we go. And they come back down. And after you've done your 5th one, you'll lower the pelvis back down. Lower the left leg back down, long and straight. Good morning, Julie. And then pull that right knee into the chest once again. Root down through the left foot, flex through the left foot. Go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back of your right thigh once again. Extend the right leg up towards the sky. And just take a moment to pause and breathe here. This time, open your left arm to the left. Draw your right thumb to your right hip crease. Right thumb to your right hip crease. And you're going to slightly cross your right leg over to the left side of your body while you push your right hip away from you. And it's just a couple inches to find a little bit of stretch, and you breathe. And after about 2 to 3 breath cycles, you'll inhale, draw the leg back up through center. Exhale, hug the knee into the chest. And then send your right leg down to meet your left. And just notice what you notice between the sides. Does one leg feel like it has more energy in it? Does one leg feel a little bit more engaged and active, or maybe even relaxed? And then as you're ready, we'll go ahead and try all that on the other side. So bend both knees, plant the feet firmly on the floor. Hug your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long on the floor beneath you. And first check in with that right foot, flexing through the foot. Making sure the toe and the knee of the right leg are pointing straight towards the sky. And then go ahead and bring your hands behind the back of your left thigh. Inhale, kick your left foot up towards the sky. And exhale, bend the knee into the chest. And you've got 4 more of those. Inhale, pressing thigh into hands. Exhaling, pulling thigh into chest. And you're just nerve flossing. You're noticing what it feels like to reconnect with the breath. Nice job. And after you've done a total of 4 sets, 4 little nerve flosses, you'll inhale on the 5th one and send your left leg up. And just as you did before, either flex and point that left foot or take some ankle circles, whatever is feeling good to you. But again, you're paying attention to the breath, really rooting down in that right hip, softening any tension in your shoulders. And if you've gone one way with the circle, please switch directions. And again, just notice the breath. How calm, how steady, how smooth is the breath? Nice job. Go ahead and come to stillness. Next exhale, bend the knee into your chest. Hug the left knee towards the left armpit. Maybe open the right arm out to counterbalance, or bring the right hand to the top of the right thigh. And you're really trying to find a sense of splitting of the legs across the inner knees so that your butt is really rooted on both sides, but you're feeling this pull of energy from the left knee down to the right knee. And just breathe. Nice work. On your next in-breath, go ahead and come back through center with that left leg. Flex the left knee, flex the left foot, and bring the left leg perpendicular to your spine. Bring your hands to the front of your left thigh, and then we got our sneaky core work again. So we're going to make sure that left leg stays parallel. You're going to kick your hands, or rather your knee into your hands, push your hands into your knee, and then notice if you're gripping your mouth. Keep pushing, 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 pushing. 10, 9, are we breathing? 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Nice work. Release the left foot to the floor. Flex through that right foot, extend the right leg up so the right knee and the left knee are in the same line. Hands are off to the side. And then as you're ready, you're going to take a big breath in and then exhale, push through the left foot, lift your pelvis up. And inhale, come all the way back down. And you've got about 5 of these, and you're ideally trying to reach out through that right foot as you lift the pelvis up. So both thigh bones are in line with each other. Yeah, as you come into your bridge. And then you come back down. And hello, happy little glute on our left side. Yeah, that's about 3. And we're doing a total of 5. Once you've done your 5, you will lower your butt down, and then you'll lower your right leg down. You'll hug your left knee back into your chest just for a moment. Bring your hands behind the back of your left thigh. Extend the left leg up, left foot towards the sky. And then you might open the right arm to the right, draw the left thumb to the left hip crease, push your left hip away from you as you cross the left leg slightly to the right. And you're just trying to find a stretch along the calf, the hamstring, the outer hip as you do that. Nice work. Next inhalation, go ahead and come back up through center. As you exhale, bend the knee, hugging it into the chest, and then go ahead and plant the foot on the floor. Extend the left leg forward to meet the right, and just take a moment to notice what you notice between both sides, how the body's feeling, how you're feeling. Nice work. Let's keep adding on. Go ahead and bend both knees, plant the feet firmly on the floor. This time, reach your right foot up towards the sky, bend your right knee and cross the right ankle over the top of the left ankle. Flex through that right foot a lot. And keeping your hands on the floor, draw your legs towards your chest. Now push your right ankle against the top of your left thigh, hug your left knee towards your chest, just like you did a few seconds ago when we had our hands on our thighs. Yeah, look at that, that's so fun. And then you're gonna breathe, you're gonna breathe, you're gonna breathe. You've got 3 more breath cycles here. Really drive that left knee towards your chest as you push your right ankle against the left thigh. Nice work. And then on your next exhale, just lower the foot back down so left foot comes to the floor. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, push the left foot to the floor, lift your hips high. We've got 5 of those little bridges. 1. And you're going to hold the 5th one up. 2. Keep breathing. Notice on this one, if you can lift both hips at the same rate. 3. 4. Make sure the right hip lifts as fast as the left hip. 5. Yeah, and then once you've done your 5th one, you're going to hold at the top for just 2 to 3 breath cycles. Really squeeze your left butt cheek, push down into your left foot. And then at the end of your next exhale, gently lower your pelvis back down to the floor. Open your arms out into a T shape. And then you will push down into your left foot, lift your butt up, slide your butt a little to the right, put your butt down and let the legs fall to the left in that same configuration. And then some of you will stay right here. Some of you will bring your left hand or left block thing into your right thigh and push the thigh away as you rotate more of your rib cage towards the right to find a gentle stretch across the top of the hip, low ribs. Nice work. Next in breath, go ahead and come back through center. Unwind the legs, re-square the hips underneath you, and then just notice what you notice between the sides for 3 breaths before we go to the other side, and really just check in. How does the back of your right butt cheek feel in comparison to the left? The right shoulder to the left. And then as we're ready, we'll try it on the other side. So inhale, go ahead and extend your left leg towards the sky. Bend the left knee, cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. And then keeping that configuration, draw the right thigh closer towards your chest, right shin parallel-ish to the floor. Press your left ankle against the top of the right thigh. We're keeping our hands off the leg for the moment, just to engage our outer hip muscles as we stretch them. So you're really, really pressing the right knee towards you as you push your left ankle against the power of the right leg in order to open the outer left hip. And you pause and you breathe. Yeah, hello, outer hips. We're doing great. Yeah. The end of your next exhalation, gently lower the right foot to the floor. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, push through the right leg, lift your pelvis up 5 times. Here you go. And 1. See if both hips can lift at the same time. 2. And both hips descend at the same time. 3, good job. So exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 4, nice job, guys. And then when you have your 5th one up, go ahead and stay there. Flex through that left foot. So that's the foot on top. Yep. And you're pressing the left ankle in towards the right thigh, lifting both butt cheeks up. Nice job, guys. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll gently inhale and lower all the way down. Take a moment to let your butt touch the floor, and then you'll press through that right foot again, lift your pelvis up, slide it to the left, and put your bum back down, and then allow the whole configuration to fall towards the right. And then again, at this point, yep, we're going to press down on our whole left foot. Our right hand might come to the inner edge of our left thigh. And if your arms aren't long enough to do that, no worries. I have really long arms, and that makes it a little bit more possible. So you push down onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot, opening the left knee out and finding a stretch going all the way up the outside edge of your left side body. Nice work, guys. On your next in-breath, go ahead and inhale. Come back through center. Plant both feet on the floor. Re-square your bum underneath your head. And then just for a moment, walk the soles of your feet together to touch and let your knees open and splay like a book. And you'll just take a few breath cycles here and just notice what it feels like to have the inner thigh stretch in this manner. Notice what your low back feels like. Is it touching the floor? Is it away from the floor? Notice what your shoulders are feeling. Nice work. All right, very gently, hands come to the outer edges of the thighs, close the knees together like a book, plant the feet on the floor. And then using your core muscles, draw your knees in towards your chest, bring your hands through your thighs, grab the outer edges of your feet, press the soles of your feet together, and let your knees open wide like a book. So you're drawing your heels towards your belly button, you're pressing your pinky toes in towards each other, big toes in towards each other. Some of you will stay right here happy as a clam. Some of you will open just your left knee towards the floor, your left foot to the sky for a half happy baby. And feel what that feels like on the whole left outer and inner thigh. Breathe and breathe and breathe. We've got 2 more breath cycles like here in this Ananda Balasana position. And then those that open the left knee will close the left knee back, and then you'll switch and you'll open just the right knee towards the floor. The left foot stays exactly as it is, and you'll breathe for a few breath cycles here, feeling the stretch happening on the right side of the body. Keep rooting on the left hip so your whole weight doesn't tip towards the right. And then at the next exhalation, draw both feet back together. And then if you'd like, you'll do that again, or you'll open both feet up towards the sky for Ananda Balasana, Ananda Balasana, happy baby. And you'll just pause and breathe here for a few breaths. You might rock and roll a little bit, you might not, but you're just staying here in your happy baby. Nice work. Nice job, guys, little happy babies. And then when you're ready, you're going to gently come to stillness. If you're in movement, hug the knees back towards each other. Go ahead and plant the feet on the floor. Extend your right arm alongside your ears. Roll to your right. Continue to roll up until you come to be on your hands and knees. And you might, at this point, bring both blocks to the upper outer corners of the mat if they're not there already. And you might pad your knees with a blanket. And then once you find yourself all set up in your tabletop position, you're just going to take a series of cats and cows. But today I want you to really bring your awareness to your pelvis. So when you inhale, you'll tip the top of the hips forward, lower the belly, lower the chest, lower the throat, lift the gaze. And then exhale, curling from the tailbone, through the low belly, through the middle belly, through the upper chest, through the throat, through the head. And you'll just take 4 or 5 more of those, depending upon your breath. But you're moving with your body, you're moving with your breath, and you're sequencing through your spine. Yeah. Nice work, guys. Nice breath. And then after you've taken 5 sets, you'll go ahead and come to a neutral, still position. Find yourself in a neutral spine, press down through the floor, draw the low belly in, and then let's go ahead and inhale and reach our right arm out to the right, up towards the sky. You might take a few little wrist circles here as you continue to breathe for 3 to 4 breath cycles, pushing down through the left hand, noticing how your core kind of has to work here surprisingly enough to make this happen. And you're really pushing down through the left hand, really reaching out through the tail and the crown. And then on your next exhalation, you're going to take that right hand, dive it through the space of your left hand, left knee. Bring your right hand, right shoulder, right cheek to the mat. You might readjust that left hand so it feels comfortable for you so that you can twist. And you've got about 4 to 5 breath cycles here. And I want you to see how you can deeply breathe into the back right side of the shoulder blades and chest. Notice how you can deepen just your awareness of your contact with the floor. Notice where the body is breathing in and where the body is breathing out. We've got one more breath cycle here. Calm and steady breaths. And then on your next inhalation, press down in through the left hand, lift up through the right hand. And then exhale, lower the hands down back to a neutral tabletop position. Take a series of cats and cows with the inhalation into a cow and an exhalation into the cat. And you'll just do 2 more just like that, noticing what you notice in the body, notice in the breath. It's always in this moment that we have the power of choice. Awesome sauce. After you've done about 2 to 3 sets of that, let's go ahead and come to stillness in our tabletop position. Push down into your right hand and inhale, reach your left arm up towards the sky. And you'll be here for about 3 to 4 breaths, circling that left wrist up into the air, pushing down into that right hand. And see if you can extend back through your butt. Yep, as you reach forward through your crown. And at the end of your next exhalation, thread that left hand through the whole of the right knee, right hand, bringing the back of the palm to the floor, and then readjusting that right hand if you need to. And you've got about 4 to 5 breaths here. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice. What do you notice in this moment? I think it can become so easy to worry about what happened in the past or worry about what's coming next. But if we notice what's happening in this moment, I've said this before, but it's really true. Everything is always okay. All right. On your next in breath, go ahead and root down into the right hand. Inhale, sweep that left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, lower the hand down. This time, let's walk our hands one handprint forward. Inhale to a cow shape. Exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. And we're going to keep that blanket there for today. And in your down dog, I want you to slowly bend the knees, slowly straighten one leg and then the other. And you're noticing how the shoulders feel. You're noticing what the hands feel like as they're touching the floor beneath you. You're noticing if you can continue to breathe, even as things become a little bit more complex. Nice work. Let's go ahead and come to stillness. Everyone bend your knees. Now, just straighten your left foot towards the floor. Take a big breath in so the right knee stays bent. As you exhale, draw your right knee to your nose. Step your right foot between your hands. Fantastic. From here, go ahead and lower your left knee down to that blanket. Your hands might come to your blocks right now, and you might stay right there with your hands on your blocks. You might start to walk your hands up to the center of your right thigh. Now, again, we're pushing into our thigh like we did when we were on our back. You're pushing down into your right heel. You're pushing down into your left knee, and then you're going to reach your left arm up. And you're going to pause here, and you might just pause, and you might just breathe. Some of you are going to take a little side bend to your right, but you want to keep hugging your left ribs in as you reach up and then arc your spine over to the right. And we're trying to find a whole stretch happening on our left side body. And then notice if your face just started contorting itself and see if you can soften that. See if you can soften your upper right shoulder. Nice work. Next inhalation, go ahead and come up through center. As you exhale, lower the left hand down, bring both hands to your hips. Inhale, shift your weight back to start to straighten your front leg. And then you're going to start to hinge at your hips, bringing your hands to your blocks or the floor underneath you. Keep the whole sole of your right foot on the floor for just a moment and notice that you probably stopped breathing or it became a little bit more intense. And then some of you are going to start to peel the toes of the right foot up and away from the floor while still pressing the ball of the foot down. And then you might start to peel the whole sole of the right foot up and away from the floor, and notice how that changes the sensations in the backs of your legs. And did you stop breathing through any of that? Are you still breathing? And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. And maybe you're incrementally playing with having the ball of the foot on the floor or the whole sole of the foot on the floor, or maybe none of that's on the floor and you're just breathing. We've got 2 more breath cycles here. You all are doing great. Awesome sauce. On your next in breath, let's go ahead and shift our weight forward. Plant the sole of the right foot on the floor. And then this time we're going to inhale and reach both arms up and overhead for Asana. Now you might stay here happy as a clam. You might interlace the hands and bring them to the back of the head. Now again, I want you to push down into your right foot, push down into your left knee, hug those points together. Pull your hands into your skull pushes back into your hands. Your elbows might come forward just a little bit, and you're trying to arc your body up and forward just a smidge, just to find a little gentle chest opener. Nice work. On your next exhale, gently shift the weight forward. Hands come to touch blocks or floor. Tuck the back toes under, straighten the back leg long. Step the back foot in just a smidge and spin it down for warrior 1. And then from here, you're going to push down through the feet, hug the back foot towards the front foot, and start to bring your spine up to vertical. Now, when you come up for vertical, let's bring our hands to our hips first in our warrior 1 position. I want you to pay attention to what's happening in your back foot. How do you need to adjust that for you so that it feels like the whole inner thigh is rotating, and then your left hip can come towards, it's not going to get there, but come towards the front of your mat. Continue to bend into your front knee, and then notice what you need to do with your pelvis. Do you need to tip your pelvis forward? Do you need to tuck your pelvis back? You adjust for you. Once your pelvis is happy, your legs are happy, you reach your arms down, palms face forward. And then like you're gathering all the leaves of sunshine, arms reach up and overhead. And just like we had when we were holding our head, you're imagining that you're holding your head as you're reaching up for Virabhadrasana 1. And you're just pausing and you're breathing, and you guys are doing fantabulously well. It's not a real word, but that's okay. Next exhale, hands come down to the floor, pivot to the ball of your back foot, step back, downward facing dog. And then you pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe, and you just notice what you notice between the legs. How's the breath here? How are you doing here? Nice work. Let's go ahead and bend both of our knees. This time to straighten your right leg towards the floor. And I want you to pay attention to how you can work on the inner or outer edge of the right condyles. Those are the bones on the outside edge of your ankle. And notice how that changes what you're feeling in the back of the right thigh. On your next exhalation, draw, there we go, our left knee towards our face. Carefully plant that foot between your hands. And then as you're ready, you'll inhale, you'll lower your right knee to the floor. Your hands will start to walk maybe perhaps to the tops of your blocks, and you might stay here. This is a great place to stay. You might walk both hands up the belly of the thigh. If they come, you're really pushing down into that left thigh, push down into the left foot, push down into the right knee. And we're gonna lift up there. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will reach that right arm up and overhead. And if we're doing that, we're still pushing down into our foot and our knee. You're gonna reach up through your right arm and then start to arc towards your left. We're trying to find a stretch happening on the right side. And it really comes from hugging your left ribs back. And then, oh, hello, psoas, hello, diaphragm. And then you're gonna breathe. Notice if you can relax any tension in your head and your neck and your throat and your face. Nice work. Next inhalation, go ahead and come back up to vertical with the spine. Reach the right arm out, bring the right hand to the hip, the left hand to the hip. Inhale, shift your weight back to straighten your front leg long. And then you'll start to hinge at your hips, bringing hands down to blocks or to floor. And for the moment, that left foot is still on the floor, and you'll feel some stuff happening, perhaps more on the front of your left shin foot. Then you might start to peel just your left toes up and away from the floor, so the left ball of the foot presses into the floor. And notice how that changes some of the sensation on the leg. And then you might peel the whole sole of the left foot up and away from the floor, and that changes things drastically. And you might play with those 3 positions, but you're going to be here for a couple of breath cycles, just breathing. Hello, legs. Hello, breath. Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Nice work, guys. Now, the next inhale, go ahead and shift your weight forward. Plant the whole sole of the left foot on the floor. And then you'll inhale, reach the arms up and overhead for Anjaneyasana proper. And you're just going to pause here. And just as we did before, we'll go ahead and bend our elbows, interlacing our hands at the back of our head. Push down into the foot, push down into the knee. Hug those points together. Pull the hands into the skull, push the skull into the hands, and your elbows might come forward as your chest comes forward and slightly up and back. And you just pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. Nice work. On your next exhale, go ahead and shift the weight forward. Hands come back to touch the blocks of the floor. Curl the back toes under, straighten the back leg long. Spin the right foot to the floor for warrior one. And then I want you to push down into both feet in order to bring your spine up to vertical. And when the spine comes to vertical, hands will come to our hips for a moment. Check in with that back foot. Do you need to adjust your heel out just a smidge in order to find more contact with the right foot on the sole of the foot on the floor? And then you'll check in with your front knee. Can you bend it? Can you really push from your left sit bone down into your left foot? And allow yourself to notice what's happening in your pelvis. Does it need to tip forward? Does it need to tip back? What feels good in your back? When all that's good to go, hands will reach out to the side. And then just like you're gathering leaves or rays of sunshine, arms come up and overhead. And you're still imagining that you're holding your head, reaching it up. And are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Engage that back inner thigh. Yes. On your next exhale, hands come forward, touch the floor or blocks, pivot to the ball of your back foot, and then step yourself back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 3 fun breaths. And you'll just notice what the legs feel like, what the breath feels like, what the body feels like. Awesome sauce. And you just got 2 more breath cycles here, really lifting up through the armpits. Noticing the condyles of the feet. So can you reach them evenly to the floor? And notice what that changes in the sensations in the backs of your legs. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, step or float top of space. Yeah, fantastic. Once you get to the top of your space, you might separate your feet hip distance apart and slide a block in between your shin bones. You might just separate your feet hip distance apart. From there, start to slide your hands up your shins, lift your spine halfway. Pause here, push your shins forward into your hands slightly back into your shins, and pull your kneecaps up as best you can. Great. On your next exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale, find more length through your spine. Exhale, bend the knees, sit the butt low, reach the arms forward, sit low for chair pose. And you might stay here, hands are happy here. You might reach arms up and overhead, but we've got 3 breath cycles here. And you're really sitting as low as you can. You're reaching up through your pinky fingers. And we're breathing. And we're breathing. We're not holding our mouths. The end of your 3rd exhalation, you'll inhale, you'll stand up, you'll reach up. You might look up, and then exhale, arms open out. Take a moment to just close your eyes, soften the gaze. Feel the weight of your feet. Feel the weight of your shin bones. Feel the weight of your thigh bones, your pelvis, your spine, the shoulder blades, the upper arm bones, the forearms, the wrists, the fingers. Notice the weight of your jaw, the weight of the eyelids, the eyeballs. Just feel your weight, really allowing yourself to be grounded in this moment. Nice work. All right. If the eyes are closed, go ahead and open the gaze. Remove the block from between your thighs or shins if you got it. And then stand back up at the top of your space. Hands will come to your hips. So standing tall, hands to hips. Go ahead and lift your left knee towards your chest. Flex through the left foot. Really pull the left knee up, flexing through that left foot. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to reach the left foot back and find yourself in warrior 2. Yeah, look at that. That was so smooth as silk. Fantastic, guys, gals, people. And then I want you to adjust what's happening in your feet. So you might close your eyes or whatever, but I want you to feel into your feet. How do your feet feel? Does that whole left foot feel rooted into the floor? How does the right foot feel? And then notice that you can adjust what's happening in the knees by paying attention to what's happening in your hips. So maybe hands on hips, and you adjust maybe left outer hip towards the upper left corner of your mat just a smidge. Notice if that allows you to bend your right knee a little bit more. Yep. And then once you feel okay there, notice what's happening in your pelvis, your tailbone. You might then find more length through your vertebra and spine, and then go ahead and extend out through your arms. For today, let's have our palms face up. And I want you to imagine you're reaching out through your pinky finger and your middle finger. And then notice that that allows you to soften any tension down your shoulder blades. And we're just reaching out through our middle finger and our pinky finger. Nice job. On your next in breath, I want you to take a big breath in. And as you exhale, straighten your right leg long. Inhale, reach forward, out and down, and lower that right hand towards shin, block, or floor. And then you've got about 3 breath cycles here in your triangle pose. Some of you might bring your left hand out of the equation by bringing it to your left hip. And I want you to pay attention to how your feet are playing into your pelvis, how your pelvis is playing with your spine, how your spine is playing with the ribs and the chest. And you just pause and you breathe here. Nice job. Those with your left arm up, turn your left palm forward, reach your left arm alongside your left ear, and find a long stretch along your left side body, and then continue to breathe here. Long, steady breath. Fantastic. Now, to come out of this shape, you're going to slide your left arm forward along the horizon, bend the right knee, and come up to warrior two. Yeah. Nice work. Next exhale, go ahead and straighten the front leg long. Turn both feet so they're parallel to the long edge of your mat. Lower your hands alongside your hips. And then just bring our hands actually to our hips. Draw the shoulder blades onto our back, heart and chest lifts, and just take a moment to pause here. Really proud chest, really open heart. And then very gently, we'll start to wiggle walk our feet towards one another, or you can hop if that works for you too. And then you'll turn to face the top of your space, coming back to the top of your mat. And then we'll try all that on the other side. So all the weight comes into your left foot, float your right leg up. So let's keep our hands on the hips just to start. Really pull that right knee towards the chest, flex through that foot, heart open, chest up. And then you'll start to bend your left knee, slide the right foot back. Yeah, to warrior two. And then just as we did before, I want you to bring your internal awareness, or bring your awareness internal. So start at your feet. Notice the foundation. You might close your eyes and just feel what the soles of the feet feel like against the floor. Are they soaking it up like a sponge? Is the whole pinky toe edge of the right foot pressing down into the floor? And then bring your awareness to your knees and notice what they are doing. And you might find that to find more comfort in your knees, you'll actually have to bring your hands to your hips and slightly draw your outer right hip towards the upper right corner of your space. And then that allows the left knee to open a little bit more. And then you can push from your left sit bone, to your left heel. And then notice the length through the spine, softness through the shoulders. Go ahead and open the arms out, parallel-ish to the floor, palms face up. And we want to continue to bend as much as we can through that front knee. It's going to require our quaddies work quite a bit, and they're not going to be super happy about that, at least for the moment. And then we're reaching out through pinky fingers and middle fingers. Awesome. Next in breath, go ahead and take a big breath in, and then exhale, straighten your left leg long. As you inhale, reach forward, out and down, and come into your version of triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. And you'll take a moment to pause here. So you might take your top arm, so your right hand, out of the equation. And sometimes it just helps to find it so that you can push down into your feet a little bit more, so that you can let the pelvis tip, so that your spine can lengthen out of the vertebra. The left ribs can wrap under, the right ribs can wrap up. And then you might reach the right arm back up. And then we'll turn our right palm to face forward and reach the arm alongside our ears and find a crazy long stretch from your right pinky finger through the right shoulder, through the right hip. And did you stop breathing? And we keep breathing. Yeah, there we go. Next in breath, we're going to sweep the right arm along the horizon, bend the left knee, transition ninja-like into warrior two. Fantastic. And then let's go ahead and straighten through the front leg. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of the mat. Now, if you're pretty hypermobile, you're going to walk your feet in just a little bit. Our hands will now come to our hips, push down through the outer edges of the feet, lift up through the inner arches of the feet, heart and chest lift. And then as you exhale, we're going to hinge forward halfway, just like we did when we had our hands go into the blocks. And once you find yourself halfway, pause there. Lower your hands underneath your shoulders, and some of you will stay right there, happy as a clam. Some of you will continue to let your head descend towards the floor, your heart descend between your legs, and just take a few breath cycles there. And we're going to pause, and we're going to breathe there in Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. And as you're here in this shape, some of you will stay exactly as you are. Some of you will bend just one knee, and then just the other. And we've got about 5 more breath cycles. So those of you that are bending knees, I want you to take a couple breaths when you're in that bent knee position. So you notice the stretch that's happening along the long leg and the power that's happening along the bent knee. Yeah, and those of you that are just with both legs straight, great. Just continue to notice what you're noticing happening in the hamstrings and the quadriceps. Fantastic. Okay, guys and gals. Those that have been moving right to left, please come to center, come to neutral. And then on our next in-breath, let's go ahead and lift our spine parallel-ish to the floor, hands directly underneath our shoulders. Bend your knees like you're a football player getting ready to send the ball back behind you. And then bring one hand and then the other hand to your hip, well, respective hips. Reach your pelvis back. So really pull your hips back as your crown comes forward. Next in-breath, spine comes to vertical. Nice job. And then you're going to go ahead and straighten the legs. Make sure your vestibular system isn't too wonky. And then when we're ready, you're going to turn your toes out, your heels in. You're going to bend your knees and slide your hands to the tops of your thighs and hinge forward from your hips. And you might stay here just stretching out the legs. You might take a little bit of a twist from right to left, dipping one shoulder to the other. You might sway a little bit right to left, but you're just paying attention to what feels good to you. And checking in with your feet and knees and making sure that they feel like they're in a good alignment for you. And then let's go ahead and come to a still neutral spot. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to draw your hands to heart center. We're going to sit for goddess. We're going to breathe. And you're going to make evil faces at me, and that's okay. And you're going to squeeze your glutes. And we've got 3. And we've got 2. And we've got 1. You guys are doing great. Go ahead and straighten the legs long. Go ahead and release the hands down. Turn the feet in so they're parallel to one another, and then either wiggle walk your feet together or hop the feet together, your choice. Yep. Come to face the top of your mat. Stand in Tadasana and take a moment to close your eyes and just notice what you notice here. Notice what you notice here. How can we allow ourselves the opportunity to not think so much? So Jenny came in talking to us a little bit about imposter syndrome and how you're not alone if you're experiencing that. And she was saying that to me, but it's true. None of us are alone when we're experiencing that. But the other thing to keep in mind is that very often we can let ourselves alone, and that imposter syndrome will probably go away. Because who you are as you are in this moment is super fantabulous. We just don't always notice it because we're too busy thinking and worrying and all this other not so much fun stuff. All right, if your eyes are closed, let the eyes open again. Separate your feet hip distance apart first, and then separate them a little wider. That's fun. Okay, now this is going to be a fun little awkward thing for most of you, but we'll see how this goes. You're going to reach your arms forward, and we're going to pretend we're camping, and we're pooping outside and camping. So you're going to squat your butt super, super duper low. You're going to go as far low as you can. Oh, look, and our heels are still on the floor. Hooray. Now bring your hands to heart center. You might turn your toes out just a smidge so it feels more comfortable for you. Then you'll push your knees into your arms, or rather your inner thighs into your outer elbows into your inner thighs, and lift up from Malasana as best as you can for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Nice job. Bring your butt slowly to the floor or blanket. Hands will come to the outer edges of your feet, and you're going to close your knees together, open your knees together. Oh, bring your knees apart. They don't come together, but you'll pull your feet together and then you're going to pull heart and chest up. And some of you are going to just hinge forward a little bit. And literally it's like maybe an inch or two. It's not much. We're just trying to keep our spine long and finding a little bit of flexion in the hips. Some of you will stay happy as a clam right here. Some of you will come out of this, bring your right hand forward, your left hand back. You're going to push down through your hands, lift up through your spine and start to rotate to your left. You might then take your right hand towards your left knee. Pull the low belly in on the left side. Let the right hip slide forward if it wants to and rotate towards the left. And you're just finding a rotation through the abdomen, through the rib cage, maybe through the throat. Nice work. On your next inhalation, if you took the rotation, gently unwind. And then you'll take a moment to sit tall and just notice if you notice anything different between the right and the left side. And if you're still hanging out in neutral, you keep hanging out in neutral. The rest of us will try the other side. So we'll bring our left hand forward, our right hand back. You push down through the fingers, lift up through the spine and start to rotate to the right. You might bring your left hand outside of the right knee or towards the right knee. If your left hip wants to shift forward, let it, and then rotate through the belly, through the ribs, through the chest, maybe looking over your right chest, right shoulder. Nice job. Next inhalation, if you were rotated, gently unwind. Bring your hands to the outer edges of the thighs, close the legs together like a book. There we go. Now you'll extend your legs long. And you're going to just put your hands, if your hands or arms are long enough alongside your hips. If they're not, hands will just come on top of your thighs. And you want to sit as tall as you can. So feet are active, toes are pulling towards knees are pulling up, sitting nice and tall for Dandasana. We're going to breathe here for 3, chest and heart space open for 2, and for 1. Awesome sauce. Now, go ahead and release your hands slightly back behind your hips. Palms will face forward. You're going to lean back just a little bit, bend your elbows, hug your elbows towards each other. Feel the shoulder blades onto your back. Now start to push your arms towards straight and heart comes forward. And some of you will stay right here, happy as a clam. Some of you will start to push down into your hands, push down into your heels, squeeze your hips, lift your butt, and bring the soles of your feet towards the sky as you come for a reverse plank pose. And you'll pause there for 3. You'll breathe for 2. You'll hug the shoulder blades together for 1. And then you'll gently lower down. You'll sit back down for Dandasana, staff pose, hands either alongside your hips or on your thighs, whatever works for you. And just notice how it's a little bit easier to sit tall the second time. Awesome sauce. And we'll do that one more time. So hands will come back outside of our hips, palms face forward. You lean back just a smidge. You bend your elbows, hug your elbows towards each other. Notice the shoulder blades then come onto the back. And then you might just push down into the hands and lift the chest forward and stay there. You might push down into the hands, push down into the heels, lift the hips up, drawing the soles of the feet towards the floor. And you'll breathe there for 3. You'll breathe for 2. You'll breathe for 1. Go ahead and lower down. Go ahead and sit as tall as you can last time. Long, steady breath. Maybe circle the shoulders if need be. Fantastic. Last little thing before we lay down. Open your legs out for Upavista Konasana. And so we're not auditioning for cheerleaders. It doesn't have to be a big angle. It's just enough that's comfortable for you. And you want to make sure that toes and knees are both pointing straight up. You want to remove any flesh from outside of your sit bones. And if you're pretty flexible, you will just bend or hinge forward at your hips just a little bit, walking your hands forward, breathing along the inside edges of your thighs. If you're like, yeah, Jessica, that's never going to happen for me, I want you to sit up on a blanket. And if you're going to do that, you'll start with a blanket like this, fold it in half like this, and then you'll sit on the corner of that blanket. It just tips your butt up a little bit, and then you can hinge forward a little bit more easily. Yeah, there we go. And you just pause and you breathe. Nice work, guys. And then very gently, we've got 3 more breaths here. And you're just going to notice, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? There's this thought that's been coming through my head all day, and I haven't been able to figure out how to sort it. but it's this thought that you'll never get it done and you can't get it wrong. And I just thinking to myself, how much easier would life be if I remembered that everything that I thought I wanted to get done, I'll never be able to get it all done. So how can I let myself off the hook for some of the stuff that I won't get done? And then even the things that I do, if I can't ever get them wrong, what would that allow me to have more space or ease or joy? What aspects would happen if I remembered that I can't get it all done and you're never going to get it wrong? All right. As you're ready, you're going to gently come out of this shape. I want you to take a moment to just be vertical before you do anything. And just with the gaze still inward, the eyes closed, notice what it feels like to orient yourself in this moment in space. There's nothing really to do other than just breathe and be in your body. And there's no right or wrong way to be in your body. However you're in your body is fantastic. And then as we're ready, our hands are going to come underneath our knees like little scoopers, and you'll bend one knee and then bend the other, and then walk the feet together. And those in person are going to turn around and lie down on your backs. Those at home, you can also turn around and lie down on your back, but you're going to make your way to your back. And then when you find yourself on your back, you're just going to take a moment to pause, and you're going to take a moment to breathe. And the first thing I want you to do is notice what the floor feels like now. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and bend our knees and plant our feet firmly on the floor, hip distance apart. And then I want you to wrap your arms around your torso for constructive rest. And you'll just notice for you which arm is on top. And then you'll walk your feet outside of your hips and let the knees knock in. And again, you'll notice which arm is on top in this constructive rest. And you'll take about 4 breath cycles here. Of all the wonderful things that you could be doing with your time, with your energy, with your resources, what are the things that are actually meaningful to you? Because to have a meaningful existence, you don't have to do everything that could possibly be done, nor do you have to do everything that you do exceptionally well. As long as you enjoy it, you're not creating harm, I think that's okay. And so you take 2 more breath cycles here. At the end of your second exhalation, you'll inhale and arms will open out to the right and to the left. And then you'll exhale and switch whichever arm was on top. And when you find yourself in that new orientation towards constructive rest, I want you to take 4 to 5 breath cycles, just being as lazy in the body as possible, as effortless as possible, as relaxed, as at ease as possible. There's nothing more to do than other than breathe. And as you're here for these last couple of breath cycles, I want you to check in with yourself and see what might feel amazing to your body right now in terms of unwinding. And I should stop saying your body, you are your body. So what would feel amazing to you in this moment? Would a couple supine twists feel fabulous to the spine? Would another happy baby feel good for the hips? Would staying here feel nurturing to the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul? What would feel good to you? And then you'll just go ahead and give yourself permission to do that. And wherever you go or not go, the invitation is always to remain connected to your breath, connected to that life force, that vitality that comes in and out. That part of us that kind of already knows what's best for us and doesn't need to spend time doing things that might not be in our best service, that knows instinctively that our best, just as the Bhagavad Gita said, doing our best, however imperfectly, Doing our work, however imperfectly, is better than trying to do someone else's perfectly. And so you've got about 4 more breath cycles doing whatever the heck you're doing. So if you did something asymmetrical, you might want to visit the other side. And if you're like, yeah, just kind of want to, that's fine too. Wherever you are, just allow yourself to breathe. Awesome. And then at the end of your next exhalation, I want you to inhale and come back through center. And then those of you that are ready to take some other version of a final resting pose, you go ahead and do that. You might take Supta Baddha Konasana. You might take straight up Shavasana. You might be legs up the walling it for today. But you choose what works best for you. And if your space is cold, you might cover the body. And then for today, as best as possible, let's not have our arms on our hands on our abdomen, but let our arms reach out to the side and our palms face up. And then I want you to take a moment to really settle into this shape. So if you need to wiggle or fidget in any way until it feels like the body can really drop into the support beneath it, by all means, please do that. And then, similar to the way that we started, you're going to take a big breath in, filling the belly, the ribs, the chest, and then an audible exhale out. And you'll do that 3 times on your own, following your natural breath, your natural rhythm. Nice work. After your third exhalation, I want you to just allow your awareness to rest with the gentle movement of your breath. And so if you notice that the movement of the breath is very active in the abdomen, and that's where your awareness will rest. If you notice the movement of the breath is very active in the ribs and the chest and the heart region, and that's where you'll rest. Or if you notice it very active in your nostrils, that's where you'll rest. And you'll just be here with you for a few more breaths, a few more moments, and I will let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, please stay here as long as you'd like. When you are ready, we'll invite small, gentle movement back into your physical form. Those in stillness, stay as long as you'd like. Those in movement, you'll gently start to make your way to one of your sides. You'll pause there for at least 3 breath cycles before you move any further. Those on your side, you'll gently roll your chest more towards the floor, press into the top hand, and draw yourself to a tall and comfortable seat. And when you are vertical, I do encourage you to take the opportunity to sit well. Elevate your bum on a block or a blanket, and then to fidget in whatever way feels appropriate for you so that your spine feels a lot of ease, feels a lot of length to it. Um, Gently turn both palms to face the sky. On your left hand, tuck your index finger into the base of your thumb. Extend out through the other 3 fingers. And then let that hand rest on the top of the left thigh. If you're needing inspiration, the left palm will stay up. If you're needing grounding, the left palm will turn down. And then with your right hand, tuck your middle finger and index finger towards the heel of your hand. Draw the right palm in front of your face. Draw the right thumb to the right nostril, the ring finger, pinky finger to the left nostril. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. When you need to, close your right nostril and inhale just through your left. Top of your inhalation, you'll close your left and exhale out through your right. When you need to, you'll draw the breath back in through your right. Top of your inhalation, you'll close your right and exhale out through your left. It counts as 1 round of Nadi Shodhana. You'll do a total of 3 on your own, breathing as slowly, as smoothly, as fully as possible. Remembering that you'll never get it done. You can't take in all the breath you'll ever need to take in, nor will you ever let go of all the breath you need to let go. And there's not really a right or a wrong way to be with your breath, just as long as you're paying attention, letting go of any unnecessary holding that you don't need. After you've taken 3 complete sets and exhaled all the breath out through your left nostril, you'll lower your right hand. And then still remain tall yet easy through the spine. Notice where you feel the breath most alive in you now. And then bring your awareness to your heart space. I want you to plant a seed here. It's a thought of contemplation for later points in your life, your day. What would you do if you didn't worry about getting it wrong? And then what things would you need to let go of in order to make space for that thing to come into your life? I think one of the things we often forget is that our time is the most precious resource we have. Our attention is probably second to that. So, how most do you want to spend your time and your attention? Knowing that it doesn't have to be perfect. You may not get everything done, but it's worth at least directing our attention, our time, and our efforts there. We'll go ahead and close our practice by bringing your right hand to stack on top of your heart and then stacking your left hand on top of your right. And just taking 3 breaths here into this heart space, feeling that intention there for you to later discover and explore. I want to thank each and every one of you for using your time and your energy to be here with me each week, and be here with each other, and be here with yourself. Bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of your thumbs into your sternum, and then lift your heart towards your hands. Soften any tension across the front of your throat, and then exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Om. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light within me honors and salutes the light within each of you. Namaste.